There goes the intro. The Niagara Fall. Ah, Niagara Falls, a place of serene beauty, appreciation of nature, and reckless, life-threatening stunts. These falls are known to boast a wide variety of adrenaline junkies testing their fate. However, there's not much to this hypothesis, as we already know that jumping the falls is a one-ticket ride. That is, except if you have the Falls Immunity Plus plan, which grants you one extra life. This is what we assume happened to Kirk Jones once he decided to jump a handrail and plummet into the waters below. Following his descent, he managed to resurface and float down the river before pulling himself onto some rocks. With Kirk now being the one and only person to survive the falls with no protection, he had one simple question. Can I do it again? The answer was a resounding no, as he attempted to do it again, but this time in a 10-foot inflatable ball. His hamster ball was subsequently found at the base of the river and his body 12 miles downstream, which is why you should know not to push your luck too far. You just may run out of it. Steamed pot. Making food is an enjoyable process that, like many aspects of life, takes time to master. But have you ever thought to yourself that maybe it's more fun to be the food that's cooked? Well, of course you haven't. Why would you think that? What's wrong with you? Well, amazingly, one man has tested this theory and came up with an answer. Yes, but only in moderation. Lim Ba was a Malaysian medium who was known for performing stunts of steaming himself. He would usually do so with rice, vegetables, and buns in order to make it a complete meal. However, during one of his routine lunch specials, something went wrong and knocking could be heard from inside. The lid was raised and Lim was found unconscious with steam billowing out around him. He was pronounced dead from a heart attack and had major second-degree burns. He had been practicing the stunt for over 10 years, yet this was his final meal. Deepest sea dive. The ocean is one of the most dangerous environments on the planet for various reasons. There's just so much unpredictability with the waters, ocean life, and even ocean topography. On top of no breathable air, this is usually why divers tend to bring an abundance of gear to ensure their safety. At least, they're supposed to. When Audrey Mester attempted to break a freediving world record of 171 meters, many precautions were not taken. Upon reaching the depth of 171 meters, she opened the valve on her lift bag to bring her to the surface. Unfortunately, this lift bag had no air in it, so a rescue diver had to inflate it with his own air supply instead. The lift bag raised her, but very slowly due to insufficient inflation and a strong ocean current. Instead of being underwater for the 3 minutes as planned, she remained submerged for over 8 minutes. By the time her husband put on the scuba gear to retrieve his drowning wife, it was too late. She was pronounced dead at the onshore hospital and nothing could be done to save her. Rocket launch. What do you get when you combine tenacious flat earthers, a desire to build and fly rockets, and a daredevil spirit? If you answered Elon Musk, you get 0 points, because the answer is Mike Hughes. This rocketeer has made many rockets in the hopes of proving the Earth is flat. However, this may have been a deliberate ploy in order to raise funds to build more rockets. Upon receiving a few hefty donations from flat Earth advocates, he planned his highest launch yet. In February of 2020, he had launched his rocket in anticipation of beating his previous record of 1,875 feet. However, during the launch, the landing parachute deployed early and detached from the craft. At this point, all he could do was get off his final Looney Tunes style one-liner before plummeting to the ground. The rocket crashed, ultimately ending the stuntman's career and, well, the stuntman. Legend has it the Earth is still flat to this day. Base jump. Base jumping is the act of picking high points on fixed objects to jump off from. Usually this is done with a single-use parachute or a wingsuit in order to maximize riskiness. Regardless of gear, this activity is still pretty perilous as you're cutting it close with the ground or walls depending on where you jump. This is what led Dean Potter and his apprentice Graham Hunt to meet their fatal ends. They were attempting a base jump in Yosemite National Park, which required them to clear a small notch in a rocky ridge line. While in flight, Hunt hit the side of this rocky notch and fell to his death. Potter had cleared the notch but immediately hit a wall face head on, which killed him upon impact. Base jumping in national parks is actually illegal, so they had no authority to be there. Yet they've made the same jump before and lived to tell the story. Unfortunately, their lives now serve as a cautionary tale to those who dare risk the ridge. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Stay cool and peace out.